When my mother found out that I would become blind with the age of 12, that was actually at the age of 2. The doctors prognosed it. So in the very beginning, of course, I didn't know that I would become blind, and I could see almost everything. Okay, I would like to have a very adventurous life, and I would like to travel. And I would like to travel on my own, not with a sighted person necessarily, always on my side. But I must say, at first, I had the feeling I couldn't do anything. Whatever I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch, immediately it forms itself into visual inputs, into visual pictures. You have to know the techniques and you have to know the method very, very well. And it will give you confidence, it will give you strength, and the doors of the world will be open for you. It is not dark.
So let's start with your story. Let's start with the first question at your childhood, we want you to share your journey, from outer light to inner light.
Yeah, it's maybe I start with saying that I was very, very lucky to be born in a family of artists. Because artists are usually very, very open and very flexible. Whatever comes in life, they take in a good way.
माझा जन्म एका कलाकाराच्या कुटुंबात झाला हे मी माझं भाग्य समजते. कारण कलाकार जे असतात त्यांची जीवनाकडे पाहण्याची दृष्टी ही अधिक खुली असते. Yes.
So when my mother found out that I would become blind with the age of 12, that was actually at the age of 2. The doctors prognosed it.
माझ्या वयाच्या दुसऱ्या वर्षी माझ्या आईला असं सांगण्यात आलं की वयाच्या 12व्या वर्षापर्यंत माझी दृष्टी संपूर्णपणे जाणार आहे.
She was only a little bit shocked, but then she caught herself again and she said, well, then we have to deal with it. And maybe this opens much more horizons and maybe this creates a very, very interesting life for the family and for Sabriye herself.
माझी आई क्षणभर एक स्तंभित झाली. पण नंतर तिने असा विचार केला की ठीक आहे, जर असं होणार असेल तर यामध्ये सुद्धा ज्या शक्यता दडलेल्या आहेत आणि कदाचित नव्या क्षितिजांच्या खुणा यामध्ये आहेत, ते करण्याचा मी जास्तीत जास्त प्रयत्न करेन.
So in the very beginning, of course, I didn't know that I would become blind and I could see almost everything.
सुरुवातीला मला सगळं दिसायचं. Till what age you could see?
I think I could see, I could read and write until the age of 7 or 8. And then it slowly started to dim down.
7व्या किंवा 8व्या वर्षापर्यंत मला दिसत होतं, लिहिता येत होतं, वाचता येत होतं आणि त्यानंतर हळूहळू माझी दृष्टी कमी कमी होत गेली. Sabriye, do you see a difference that there is a person who has been blind from birth and there is a person who has seen light and then has gone into the darkness? The process is more traumatic.
Well, first of all, I have to clear up one prejudice.
Yeah.
It is not dark.
It is not dark.
Despite, and that's, I think this is the most important message that I would like to give. I talk to so many blind people, and no blind person tells me it is dark. So this is a myth. This is a myth of sighted people.
ज्यांना दृष्टी आहे त्या लोकांनी पसरवलेला हा समज आहे की दृष्टीहीनांच्या जगामध्ये अंधार असतो. खरं म्हणजे दृष्टीहीनांच्या जगामध्ये अंधार नसतोच. Yes.
So what I just want to say is that I don't know whether it's a difference, whether it's an advantage to be sighted before and then become blind, or whether it's an advantage to be blind from birth.
Yeah.
There is no, I cannot tell that. I cannot judge it. What I can say is that I grew up as a very, very visual person, and I'm still a very visual person.
मला हे माहिती आहे की मी व्हिज्युअल पर्सन म्हणजे मी दृष्टीसन्मुख व्यक्ती होते आणि मी दृष्टीसन्मुख व्यक्ती आहे आणि ते न बदलणारं सत्य आहे. वंडरफुल.
So when I'm sitting here, I see you and I see all of you, all of the faces here in the room. So for me, of course, I'm not sure whether this is the reality, but for me, this is reality enough and it's beauty enough,
Wow. मी आता इथं बसून तुला बघू शकते, ह्या सगळ्यांना बघू शकते. ते नेमकं वास्तव आहे का नाही हे मला सांगता येणार नाही, पण माझ्यासाठी ते वास्तवच आहे ना, आणि ते खूप छान आहे.
So when I was a kid and I found out that I would become blind with the age of 9, of course, I was terrified. I was a typical sighted child that thought blindness is darkness, and I thought blindness is total isolation.
9 वर्षाचे असताना ज्या वेळेला ह्या खुणा माझ्या अंधत्वाच्या दिसायला लागल्या तेव्हा मला खूप भीती वाटली आणि मला असं वाटलं की आता माझा प्रवास हा या दृष्टीच्या जगापासून कुठे सुरू होणार आहे.
And I must say I experienced isolation. Yes.
आणि मी एकटी पडणार आहे. मी त्याचा अनुभव केला.
I had, interestingly, a lot of friends before I became blind, and suddenly I became blind, and then all these friends, or not all, but most of these friends, they turned away.
मला आधी खूप मित्र होते आणि माझ्या अंधत्वाला सुरुवात झाल्यावरती त्यातले अनेक जण मला सोडून गेले.
And then I waited for darkness, but darkness never came.
मग मी वाट पाहायला लागले अंधाराची, पण अंधारमुळे आलाच नाही.
Now, the interesting thing is that when you were sighted before and you become blind very, very slowly, the brain plays a trick on you. It actually still thinks, the visual cortex still thinks that you can see. And what happened was that I could imagine my world in an even more colorful way. So instead of becoming dark, instead of the world becoming dark, it became much, much more colorful.
Oh. माझ्या मेंदूमधलं जे दृष्टीचं केंद्र होतं ते सतत काम करत होतं आणि ते आता पूर्वीपेक्षा जास्त कलरफुल म्हणजे जास्त रंगीत पद्धतीने काम करायला लागलं. तेव्हा अंधार नव्हता, उलट माझ्या डोळ्यासमोरची सृष्टी ही जास्त रंगीत झाली होती.
Now my father, he read books to me, and he read books that were very, very interesting to him. And one of these books was from a black power activist who transformed the concept of black being ugly into black is beautiful. And when I heard this, I thought maybe there's also a beauty in blindness, and maybe I just have to find it. And then I got on the search for the beauty of blindness.
Wow. माझे वडील मला लहान असताना पुस्तकं वाचून दाखवायचे आणि त्यामध्ये त्यांनी मला एका कृष्णवर्णीय लेखकाचं पुस्तक वाचून दाखवलं की ब्लॅक इज ब्युटिफुल, म्हणजे काळ्या रंगामध्ये सुद्धा सौंदर्य असतं. मग मी असा विचार केला की मी माझ्या या अंधत्वामधलं सौंदर्य शोधण्याचा प्रयत्न का करू नये. येस.
So what I found out was, since I became blind, I could much better focus. I could concentrate. I could really focus on what was really mattering to me, because I was not distracted by Hollywood and Bollywood anymore.
या अंधत्वामुळे मला झालेला फायदा म्हणजे समोरच्या गोष्टीवरती मी आता माझं लक्ष संपूर्णपणे केंद्रित करू शकले. मला कोणत्याही पद्धतीनं त्यापासून दूर नेणारं आता तिथं काहीच नव्हतं.
I also learned to communicate. Because first of all, one thing that is very often forgotten, communication also means listening. And since I had my ears, and my ears were the gateway to the world, I learned to listen. And I learned to be clear in my communication, because if you're not clear, you become invisible.
दोन गोष्टी झाल्या की आता तिच्यासाठी कान हा तिचा गेटवे टू लाईफ झाला. डोळे असतात आपली, तर तसा कान हा गेटवे झाल्यामुळे त्या कानाचा वापर जास्तीत जास्त करण्यासाठी कसं ऐकायचं हे मी शिकले आणि त्याचबरोबर कसं संवाद साधायचा नेमकेपणी हे सुद्धा मला या अंधत्वानेच शिकवलं. येस.
And then one very, very important thing to actually survive as a blind person in a world of the sighted is to solve problems. So I was forced to become a problem solver. I was forced to find my own ways and not look at the problems, but always look at the solutions. And this is something that I'm very, very grateful for.
आणि म्हणून I become a problem solver. ती म्हणते की मी समस्येचा बाऊ करण्यापेक्षा समोर आलेली समस्या कशी सोडवायची हेच शिक्षण मला या माझ्या प्रवासामध्ये मिळालं. That's wonderful. The turning point, Sebriye, as we know, that experience at your residential school. You know, the school played a lot of role in your empowerment, isn't it? Let's talk about that school.
Yeah. I first was in a school for the sighted, and then I decided myself, once I became really blind, I could still see a little bit, I decided to go to a school for the blind. Now, this school is, in my opinion, I visited very, very many schools in the world, but this school is one of the best in the world.
मी हळूहळू जशी माझी दृष्टी कमी होत गेली तसं मी एका अंधांसाठी असलेल्या शाळेमध्ये प्रवेश केला. माझ्या दृष्टीने ही शाळा जगातल्या सर्वोत्कृष्ट शाळांपैकी एक आहे.
What makes the school so good is that the teachers are really expecting a lot from the students. It's a highly academic school and the school offers a lot of sports activities.
या शाळेचं वैशिष्ट्य असं की इकडचे सर्व शिक्षक हे त्यांच्या विद्यार्थ्यांच्याकडून शैक्षणिक दृष्टीने खूप अपेक्षा धरतात आणि अभ्यासाबरोबरच खेळ ह्याला सुद्धा या शाळेमध्ये खूप महत्त्व आहे.
And they choose sports that in the sighted world are normally seen as dangerous. So for example, windsurfing or white water kayaking or horseback riding or trampoline, so jumping up in the air and rolling down in the air or and all these kind of things.
या शाळेमध्ये असं मानलं जातं की दृष्टी असलेलं जग ज्या खेळांना धोकादायक मानतं त्याच खेळांना इथे उत्तेजन दिलं जातं. जसं की विंड सर्फिंग, कायाकिंग ही सगळी नावं तिने घेतली की ज्याला आपण ॲडव्हेंचर स्पोर्ट्स किंवा साहसाचे खेळ असं म्हणतो. ते खेळ या शाळेमध्ये शिकवले जातात या मुलांना. येस.
So they are at the opinion that you have to know the techniques and you have to know the method very, very well. And it will give you confidence, it will give you strength, and the doors of the world will be open for you. And this is a great philosophy that I took later also to Tibet.
या सगळ्या पद्धतीमुळे विद्यार्थ्याला आत्मविश्वास मिळतो, बळ मिळतं आणि जगाला सामोरं जाण्याची क्षमता मिळते असा या शाळेचा आणि शिक्षकांचा विश्वास होता. येस.
But besides that also, what I think is very, very important, what I don't see with with not so many other blind schools, they were putting a lot of effort in science, in math, in biology, physics, chemistry, but also in old languages, in Latin, Old Greek, French, Italian. I mean, we are blind, but we still have a brain to think, and we don't have to be stupid. We can learn a lot. We can test our skills in many different ways.
Absolutely. ती असं म्हणते की आम्ही अंध जरूर आहोत पण ह्याचा अर्थ आम्ही मूर्ख नाही. त्यामुळे ह्या शाळेमध्ये शास्त्र विषयांच्या बरोबरच ग्रीक, लॅटिन सारख्या भाषांचं शिक्षणही तिला मिळत गेलं. येस. And then you went to US also, no, during that stint?
Yeah. They forced me to go to the USA for 1 year because my English was so bad. And
yeah, you were in Germany. She's a German.
Yeah, I'm a German. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So my English was really bad, and I didn't know how to say my name, and I couldn't say one right sentence. And then they said, if you want to do something right in this world, you have to know English.
त्यामुळे इंग्लिश शिकण्यासाठी, कारण तिचं इंग्लिश चांगलं नव्हतं, त्यासाठी 1 वर्षासाठी या शाळेनं तिला USA ला पाठवलं. हाऊ वॉज दॅट एक्सपिरियन्स गोइंग टू USA?
The experience was tough because I was amongst a lot of brilliant English students who were all going to the US because they were so good, and I was the only one because I was so bad. So I needed 3-4 months to be able to speak and to be able to catch up with the others, and then it was great.
मला 3 ते 4 महिने लागले इतर विद्यार्थ्यांच्या बरोबर येण्यासाठी, पण त्यानंतर मात्र मी फार चांगलं शिकले. अच्छा, यू वेर द ओनली ब्लाइंड स्टुडंट हू वेंट देअर ऑर?
No. There were other blind and partially sighted students as well.
Also, so there was a group of students, and then you came back after that training, and then you went to university, right?
Yes. First of all, I had a very good philosophy teacher who came into our class, and he asked all of us, so what is your dream? What will happen after school? Is there life after school?
आमच्या शाळेमधल्या तत्वज्ञानाच्या शिक्षकांनी आम्हाला हा प्रश्न विचारला की शाळेनंतर काय, तुमचं स्वप्न काय आहे, व्हॉट इज युअर ड्रीम?
So at that point, I just, I brainstormed and I thought about, okay, I would like to have a very adventurous life, and I would like to travel. And I would like to travel on my own, not with a sighted person necessarily, always on my side. Because what happens is when Paul, for example, my husband, when he travels with me, then everybody is asking him, is she hungry? Or does she want sugar in her coffee? And I'm standing right next to him. And then he asked me, do you want sugar in your coffee? And I say, no, she doesn't, but she can speak. So this doesn't happen when I travel on my own, you know, and therefore I wanted to travel on my own.
म्हणजे तुला खूप प्रवास करायचा होता, एकट्याने प्रवास करायचा होता. हां, तर तुला असा मार्ग हवा होता की ज्याच्यात प्रवास पाहिजे, वेगळं आयुष्य पाहिजे. So you wanted a different kind of a life, right? And how did that life come to you? That dream come to you?
So my dream came basically through my philosophy teacher, who saw all these different keywords like adventure, traveling, developing work. And he said, so why don't you try to go to the Red Cross, and maybe they send you to the field, into a country, into a developing country. So I went to the Red Cross, and they said, no way, you know, I mean, you are blind. There is no insurance who would pay for a blind person in a developing country.
हे ॲडव्हेंचर, ट्रॅव्हल, डेव्हलपिंग कंट्री, हे सगळे शब्द वाचून माझ्या शिक्षिकेने मला सांगितलं की तू रेड क्रॉसमध्ये जा, तिथे तुला मार्गदर्शन मिळेल. पण रेड क्रॉसवाले म्हणाले की तू तर अंध आहेस, तुझा तिकडे विमा कोण काढणार, इन्शुरन्स तुझ्यासाठी कोण काढणार, तेव्हा तू तिथे जाऊ शकणार नाहीस. येस.
And I was so lucky that they said no, because what came out of this was I thought, okay, then I have to start my own organization, and then I can send myself into the field.
हो, आणि मग मी म्हटलं की किती चांगलं झालं ह्यांनी मला नाही म्हटलं. आता मला रेड क्रॉसच्या तर्फे नाही तर मी माझी स्वतःचीच संस्था निर्माण करेन आणि मला जिथे जायचंय तिकडे जाईन.
So and then I thought, what country or what region was the most adventurous for me? And since I was passionate about horseback riding and whitewater kayaking and mountains, I thought Tibet sounds so strange to me and so adventurous. So why not studying Tibetology in university and learn the language and go to Tibet?
हो, मग माझ्या डोळ्यासमोर आला तिबेट. कारण तिबेट हा माझ्या जे साहसी खेळ माझे जे होते आणि जी वृत्ती होती त्या सगळ्यांना तिथं वाव होता. आणि म्हणून मी तिबेटला जाण्याआधी तिबेटॉलॉजी म्हणजे तिबेटच्या संदर्भातला अभ्यास करण्याचा निर्णय घेतला.
Unfortunately, I had to translate very, very old texts from the 15th century, so it was not really the study that I had expected. But on the other hand, I created for my own use. During my study, I created a system, a Braille system for the Tibetan language, to actually, first of all, to just write down my vocabularies and my grammatical sentences. And later, teachers found out that this system was not existed yet, and they suggested to me to bring it to Tibet for the blind.
तुमच्या लक्षात आलं की तिबेटियल ब्रेल लिपी बनवणारी ही व्यक्ती आहे. तिनं स्वतःसाठी म्हणून तिबेटी लिपी ही ब्रेलमध्ये आणली आणि आणता आणता आज तिबेटमधल्या सर्व अंधांसाठीची ब्रेल लिपी ही सेब्रियेनं तयार केलेली आहे. तेव्हा आज जी तिबेटियन ब्रेल वापरली जाते त्याचं जनकत्व या सेब्रियाकडे जातं. सो यू गॉट इन टू तिबेटॉलॉजी. अँड देन व्हेन डिड यू गो टू तिबेट?
I went in 97.
97.
With my Braille system in my luggage, and I went on my own. I went without a sighted person to convince the people that I could do something on my own, and in this way I wanted to convince them to start something for the blind in Tibet.
मी एकटीच गेले. ह्याचं कारण मला तिबेटमध्ये जाऊन त्यांना सांगायचं होतं की तिबेटमधल्या अंधांसाठी तुम्हाला काहीतरी काम करता येईल. व्हॉट इज द स्पेशालिटी ऑफ साइटलेस पीपल इन तिबेट?
Well, the biggest problem was not so much nowadays anymore. I think we changed a little bit. But back then it was that blindness was seen as a punishment. Punishment for something you had done in your first life, in your previous life. So it's seen as bad karma.
तिबेटमध्ये अंधत्व हा पूर्वजन्मी तुम्ही केलेल्या काही वाईट गोष्टींचा शाप म्हणून मानला जात होता. Yes.
So a lot of children that I met there, they were not very happy to talk about blindness. They felt very much ashamed, embarrassed. Also the parents felt embarrassed.
त्यामुळे ती मुलं आणि त्यांचे पालक यांना खूप शरम वाटायची आणि ते बोलायला तयार नसायचे. Yes.
A lot of children, they were hidden away in dark rooms. And I met one little kid, 5 years old, in Tibet on my trip, who was tied to a bed, and she was not able to walk. and she was perfectly fine otherwise, but she was just blind. And the people, the parents, they didn't know what to do with the blind
कॉटला
child.
बांधलं होतं, त्या छोट्या मुलीला कॉटला बांधलं होतं असंही मला तिथे, आणि अंधाऱ्या खोल्यांमध्ये या मुलांना बांधून ठेवायचे. For how long did you travel in Tibet, Sebriye?
Well, I actually started outside from Tibet. I wanted to travel into Tibet, and I bought horses. And the officials didn't let me. They found out about this adventure and they said, no way, this is not possible. So then I went back to Chengdu. I tried to get a permission. It didn't work. And then I flew into Lhasa. And in Lhasa, I came together with a caravan, and I joined a caravan with horses, and we went through the countryside for quite a long time, about 2 weeks, and just on horseback. In the nights, we were sleeping in the stables, and it was very interesting. But yeah, it was also quite shocking for me.
ल्हासापर्यंत विमानानं आणि त्याच्यानंतर घोड्यावरून 2 आठवडे ती तिबेटमध्ये फिरली. Tell me one thing, that it was your first visit to Tibet, right?
No, I was in Tibet once, very, very shortly, 5 years before that, together with my mom, because she offered it me to as a reward for my high school diploma.
Okay.
And but back then I was so altitude sick that I couldn't remember anything of Tibet anymore.
So this time it was a solo.
Yeah, this time I was totally alone, which was great.
After that, you decided to do something for the blind children in Tibet, right?
Yes, but I must say, at first, I had the feeling I couldn't do anything, because who am I? You know, long nose, coming from somewhere else and telling the parents to treat their children in a different way. And but then I met one little kid who was very, very confident. One blind kid, very confident, and he heard about me being blind, and he came to me, and he had this smile on his face. I mean, he was radiating happiness, and he said, "I'm blind, and I heard you are blind too." And this gave me the feeling, hey, what is different with this child? And I found out that he was never hidden away. There was nobody ashamed of him. He had a lot of confidence, and he had the very important task, to herd the yaks and the goats in the mountains. So the people, they expected something from him, and they gave him this confidence, this understanding that there's nothing wrong to be blind.
मला पहिल्यांदा असं वाटलं की मी इथे आलेली परकी व्यक्ती या माणसांना काय मदत करणार. पण तिथे मला एक हसरा मुलगा भेटला, आणि तो मला येऊन म्हणाला की मी अंध आहे, तू पण अंध आहेस. मग माझ्या लक्षात आलं त्याच्या हास्याचं रहस्य, की तो तिकडच्या जनावरांना घेऊन चरायला जात होता. म्हणजे तो अंध असूनही तिथे काहीतरी काम करत होता, आणि त्यामुळे त्याला आत्मविश्वास होता. येस.
So when I met this little boy, I decided to start a school, which is not just a school. Of course, they should learn reading and writing in Braille and different Braille systems. They should learn different languages and mobility training, so walking with a cane, you know, and all these kind of things to make them independent. But for me, what was much more important is to create a springboard for them. A springboard where they could jump back into society and say, yes, I'm blind, so what? I can do so many things.
मला फक्त या दृष्टीहीन मुलांसाठी शाळा काढायची नव्हती, तर मला त्यांच्यासाठी एक स्प्रिंगबोर्ड तयार करायचा होता, की ज्याच्यावरून उडी मारल्यावरती त्यांना समाजाच्या प्रवाहामध्ये परत येणं शक्य होणार होतं. त्यासाठीचा स्प्रिंगबोर्ड. तेव्हा ते विचारू शकले असते की होय मी अंध आहे, तर मग राईट. सो दॅट वॉज युअर गोल यू फाउंड, राईट. When did the first school start, Sebriye?
The school started in 98. And we stayed in Tibet until 2012. But in this time, we created a lot of centers for the blind, not only for blind children. We also have a center, a big farm for blind adults, where they can learn how to make cheese, how to bake, how to train animals or train horses, how to raise cows and pigs and do organic market gardening and so on and so forth.
98 सालापासून आजपर्यंत 5 सेंटर्स, जी ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स अंधांसाठी आहेत, ज्याला ती स्प्रिंग बोर्ड म्हणते, की जी फक्त शाळा नाही तर त्याच्यामध्ये या अंधांना, दृष्टीहीनांना व्यवसायाभिमुख शिक्षण दिलं जातं. हे सगळं या काळामध्ये तिबेटियन लोकांच्यासाठी या दोघांनी केलं. येस. सो
but the nicest thing is most of these training centers are run by the blind now themselves. So by blind Tibetans who were our first students from the first and second generation.
98 सालच्या बॅच मधल्या आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांकडूनच आज ही सगळी जी सेंटर्स आहेत ती मॅनेज केली जातात, त्यांची व्यवस्था पाहिली जाते. राईट. अँड देन नाव लेट्स सी, कमिंग टू इंडिया. हाऊ यू केम टू इंडिया, दॅट जर्नी?
So how did my path not come to Tibet but to India?
Yeah.
From Tibet.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, very clearly, because we thought, we reflected a lot. A lot of times when we had these big dreams, you know, when we said we want to start a farm, everybody was saying, you are not a farmer. When we wanted to start a braille printing house, you say, wait, you don't know what you're doing. So every time we wanted to start something, everybody would say, no, it's not possible. Now, we did it anyway. But why and how? So mainly, of course, partly also because we are stubborn enough to just go for it. Partly we don't take no for an answer. But then we also had each other. We had a team. We were in a good team. We believed in each other. We believed in our dreams. Now, a lot of people in this world, they have a big dream, but a lot of people around them say you cannot do it, and they don't do it. And we thought we wanted to start a dream factory, a big global dream factory for social visionaries from all over the world.
तिनं आपल्याला तिचं दुसरं स्वप्न सांगितलं. ती म्हणाली की मी आणि पॉल जेव्हा कामाला लागलो तेव्हा आम्ही फार्म ओपन करायला गेलो तर लोक म्हणायचे तुम्ही शेतकरी आहात का? आम्ही ब्रेल प्रिंटिंग प्रेस काढायला गेलो तर लोक म्हणायचे तुम्ही प्रिंटिंग मध्ये आहात का? म्हणजे प्रत्येक वेळेला आपण जेव्हा बदलायला पाहतो किंवा समाजामध्ये बदल घडवून आणायला पाहतो त्यावेळेला हे काम तुमचं नाही, हे काम तुमचं नाही असं सांगणारे तुम्हाला खूप भेटतात. मग आपल्याला काय करायला पाहिजे तर परिवर्तनाचं काम करणारे, बदल घडवून आणणारी जी मंडळी आहेत त्यांना उत्तम प्रशिक्षण देणारी ड्रीम फॅक्टरी आपण तयार करायला पाहिजे. तर स्वप्नांचं सत्यामध्ये रूपांतर करणारं प्रशिक्षण देणारी संस्था स्थापन करावी असं हिने आणि पॉलने या दोघांच्या डोक्यांनी घेतलं आणि त्यांनी निवड केली तिरुवनंतपुरम या शहराची. So you selected Trivandrum for that.
Yeah, we selected Trivandrum because we felt that Trivandrum is very central in the world. Of course, for a North Indian, Trivandrum is somewhere in the backyard of India. But looking at the world map, then you have India hanging there, right in between Africa on one side and Asia on the other side. So the southern tip is so central in this world. And also we see this training center not so much as a training center, but much more like a springboard, like the Tibetan project. And when you again look at the map in your inner imagination, it looks like a springboard a little bit. So a springboard for visionaries to jump back into the world and start their own social projects.
Okay, so you came to Trivandrum, you and Paul, and you set up the institute there. Who designed for you?
Paul, together with a company an architecture company of Laurie Baker, and they designed it in a very, very environmental friendly style.
Right.
Low cost, high quality, which I think is very important because social visionaries from all over the world, they want to start their own centers, and they don't normally have a lot of money. And they want to also be environmental friendly. So we wanted to be a role model for them, how to achieve big things, beautiful things with just a little money.
मुद्दामून हा प्रश्न मी तिला विचारला. कंथारी ही यांची जी संस्था आहे त्रिवेंद्रमच्या जवळ, त्याचं जे संपूर्ण स्थापत्य किंवा आर्किटेक्चर आहे ते लॉरी बेकर हे गांधीजींच्या विचारांनी भारलेले असे आर्किटेक्ट होते. आणि त्यांचं जे स्कूल आहे की ज्याच्यामध्ये पर्यावरणाला पोषक अशा तऱ्हेचं आर्किटेक्चर जे लो कॉस्ट म्हणजे याच्यामध्ये किंमत फार कमी आहे आणि त्याचबरोबर जे मजबूत आहे असं अतिशय सुरेख कॅम्पस. तुम्ही कांथारीच्या साईटवरती जा आणि तिकडचे फोटोग्राफ्स जर बघितलेत तर तुम्हाला कळेल की किती छान कॅम्पस यांनी तिथे उघडलाय. सो हू कम्स टू युअर इन्स्टिट्यूट टू गेट ट्रेन्ड?
These are people what I said already, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from America, India, lots of Indians. People who are highly talented, who have a vision, and who have a story to tell, who have adversity that they had overcome. We call it the Gandhi moment, or the pinching point in their life. Something in their life that might have hurt them, but it didn't distract them, or it didn't destruct them. It made them who they are. It gave them strength, and it gave them a vision to make the world a better place.
Right. So first they are talented. म्हणजे पहिल्यांदा ते बुद्धिवान असतात. Secondly, they have a vision. म्हणजे त्यांना भविष्यामध्ये काहीतरी करायचं असतं. तिसरा मुद्दा की दे हॅव अ स्टोरी टू टेल. म्हणजे त्या प्रत्येकाची स्वतःची एक कहाणी असते आणि त्या कहाणीचं रूपांतर त्यांना कशा तरी मोठ्या गोष्टीमध्ये करायचं असतं. असे भारत, आशिया, अमेरिका, आफ्रिका सर्व खंडांमधले लोक इथे येतात, ज्यांना यांनी नाव दिलंय चेंज एजंट्स. यू कॉल देम चेंज एजंट्स. आपण त्यांना असं म्हणू की ते परिवर्तनाचे दूत किंवा परिवर्तन दूत. Why did you name your organization as Kanthari?
Kanthari is a plant that grows wild in every backyard in Kerala.
Kanthari हे झाड आहे केरळ मधल्या अंगणामध्ये वाढणारं. And it's a chili, right?
Yeah, it grows wild in every backyard, which is important for us because our participants are also from the margins of society. So there's a very nice parallel. The next parallel is the Kanthari is one of the smallest and one of the spiciest chilies in this world.
अगदी छोटी पण झणका तिचा जबरदस्त असलेली अशी ही मिरची आहे. आणि ही मिरची ती म्हणाली तसं ऑन द मार्जिन, म्हणजे ती आपल्या परसदारी असते, तिची फारशी किंमत नसते, पण एकदा ती आली तुमच्या तोंडामध्ये की तिची चव आपल्याला समजते. म्हणून त्या संस्थेचं नाव त्यांनी कंथारी असं दिलं आणि तो मल्याळम मधला शब्द घेऊन त्यांनी ते दिलं की इथे सोशल एजंट्स ना त्यांची चव समजते आणि त्यांची चव समाजाला समजते, या अर्थाने नाव दिलं गेलं. सो दॅट वॉज द नेम, राईट?
या, बट इट्स नॉट ओनली स्पायसी, इट्स ऑल्सो मेडिसिनल. So, and that's very important because our Kantharis, of course, they are not just spicy. Of course, they have fire in the belly, they have the guts to challenge the status quo, but they can also come up with new solution for all the new problems. And this is so important.
Right. म्हणजे या मिरचीला फक्त चवच असतो, तिखटपणाच असते असं नाही, तर ह्या सगळ्या लोकांच्याकडे समाजातल्या समस्यांची उत्तर शोधण्याची दृष्टी असते. हे या सगळ्या परिवर्तन दूतांचं वैशिष्ट्य आहे. येस. सो हाऊ मेनी पीपल आर देअर इन युअर करंट बॅच नाउ?
We are very selective and we always have only around 20 to 25 participants. We get around 400 applications per year. Everyone who gets through this very complicated application system gets a scholarship, so nobody has to pay. But of course, they have to run through a lot of interviews with psychologists, and they have to do a lot of assignments beforehand to be able to get in.
400 मधनं जवळजवळ 20 जणांची निवड केली जाते आणि अत्यंत कठीण अशी निवड प्रक्रिया असते. आता या कंथारीच्या कॅम्पसवरती 11 देशामधली 22 विद्यार्थी आहेत जे चेंज एजंट्स आहेत आणि अनेक त्यातले असे आहेत की ज्यांनी आता आपापल्या देशांमध्ये परत जाऊन स्वतःचे प्रकल्प सुरू केलेत. Can you share with us some of the students who have gone back and they have started their own interesting projects?
Most of them. We have, for example, Punhoy Tang from Meghalaya. Yes, and she came to us and, well, her educational system was not so good. She was very bad in math, and a lot of people, they were just smiling when they saw her. But we knew that she had a brilliant vision. She had a very strong vision what she wanted to do for blind and handicapped children in Meghalaya. Now, last year, I went to Meghalaya, and just in 3 years, she built up a huge organization with a lot of, I think she has about 400, 500 beneficiaries. She is helping the government to take care of people with handicaps in her region. And and she's partially sighted. Hardly any education, hardly any school education, but a lot of fire, a lot of positive energy, a lot of ethics, and a huge vision and the energy to realize this vision. And
मेघालयामध्ये आज ती मुलगी 400 ते 500 लोकांच्या बरोबर काम करते आणि तिकडच्या या तऱ्हेच्या लोकांच्यासाठी, आणि तिलाही स्वतःला ह्यामधून कितीतरी कॉन्फिडन्स मला वाटतं मिळाला असेल. सेब्री, आय वॉन्ट टू आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन. आय एम गोइंग टू गिव्ह यू 3 words and I want to hear your definition of these 3 words. Daydream, dream and vision.
I'm not so much for daydreaming.
You are not so much for daydreaming.
No,
yes.
because it means lack of focus very often.
Because it has a lack of focus.
However, I'm very much for dreaming, because it means fantasy and it means focus. Once I'm really dreaming and I'm concentrating on this dream and I'm imagining everything in this dream, it means focus, and that is the start for creating a vision.
दिवा स्वप्नांवरती माझा खूप विश्वास नाही, कारण दिवा स्वप्न जी असतात त्याला कुठंच फोकस किंवा केंद्रबिंदू नसतो. पण स्वप्न असं आपण जेव्हा म्हणतो तेव्हा जरी ते कल्पनेतलं म्हणजे फॅन्टसी मधलं असलं तरी त्याला एक केंद्रबिंदू म्हणजे फोकस असतो. त्यामुळे दिवा स्वप्न नको, पण स्वप्न चालेल, आणि मग विजन.
So vision for me has always to do something with a better society. It's always what I imagine the world could be, how the world could change, and maybe even through my own actions. So vision for me means ethical, social change through mindset change.
वंडरफुल. विजन त्यालाच म्हणावं की ज्याच्यामध्ये परिवर्तन आहे, व्यक्तीचंच नव्हे तर समाजाचं परिवर्तन आहे, त्याला आपण विजन असं म्हणायचं. फार सुंदर, वंडरफुल डेफिनेशन्स यू हॅव गिव्हन अस, सेब्रिये. सेब्रिये, यू ट्रॅव्हल सो एक्सटेन्सिव्हली. Some interesting experiences during your global travel?
Oh, I have so many interesting. I don't even know. Well, I had a lot of adventures. One adventure is also mentioned, or there is a film about which is called Blindside. I don't know if you have mentioned it already. This was an adventure which was quite interesting. There was Eric Weinmeier. Eric Weinmeier is the first blind climber of the Everest, and he once came to Tibet to train our kids mountain climbing, and we together went on a 7,000-meter peak with 6 of our teenagers, and that was, of course, a very intense experience. I'm not a mountain climber. I will never become a mountain climber. However, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the teamwork, and I enjoyed the hard work of sports in high altitude. I enjoyed the discussions we had, and I enjoyed the silence, and that was amazing.
एव्हरेस्ट वरती गेलेला पहिला जो अंध दृष्टीहीन गिर्यारोहक होता तो तिबेटच्या यांच्या शाळेमध्ये आला, आणि सेब्रिये आणि तिची 6 अंध मुलं यांना घेऊन ते माउंटेनिअरिंग एक्सपिडिशन वरती गेले, आणि त्यामध्ये त्यांनी हिमालयामध्ये एक्सपिडिशन केलं. आपलं जे गाणं आहे त्या गाण्याच्या मध्ये जे काही शॉट्स आहेत ते आपण ह्या एक्सपिडिशनच्या मधून घेतलेले शॉट्स होते. सेब्रिये, हाऊ डिड यू सी हिमालया?
Well, I mentioned already that I'm a very visual person. So whatever I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch, immediately it forms itself into visual inputs, into visual pictures. So, for example, we went into an ice palace. I must say, I can only talk about it like that. It's a beautiful area which is full of ice, and there are icicles coming down and growing up, and there are ice sculptures, and there's a lot of snow on some ice picks, and on other ice picks are like glass sculptures. So when I touched them and I felt the sun on my chin, I really had the feeling that they were glimmering in different colors. And I described it to the film team that was with us. And they made exactly the same pictures. So, well, sometimes my inner pictures, they go well along with the pictures that other people see as well.
Wow. I want to ask you a question. The question is that when you are faced with difficulties, any difficulty in your life, and suppose you experience a low mood, how do you deal with your low mood?
And first of all, I must correct you a little bit, because when I face a real difficulty, I don't fall into a low mood
at all.
No,
Yes.
Because when I face a challenge, I'm so damn alert that I cannot fall into a low mood, because all my senses are really there and really awake.
जेव्हा माझ्यासमोर कुठलंही आव्हान असतं तेव्हा मी माझ्या मनानं कमकुवत होण्याचा प्रश्नच उद्भवत नाही, कारण ज्यावेळी आव्हान असतं तेव्हा माझ्या सगळ्या संवेदना अगदी सावध, अगदी सचेत, अगदी सजग असतात. राईट.
Okay, but of course there are times when I face a low mood. Yeah, I feel, how can I say? I must say I cry.
Yes.
In these times, and crying feels good. Paul, my life partner, also cries, despite the fact that the world thinks that men don't cry. So we also cry together. But we are very seldom in the same situation, in the same low mood. So I think it's very important to find a life partner that is normally as positive as you and doesn't get affected in the same way as you, and then someone is in a low mood and the other one is in the up mood, and then we can help each other out.
ती म्हणाली की कधी कधी तीही थोडीशी भावनिक दृष्टीने कमकुवत असं फील करते, पण पॉल आणि ती दोघेही रडतात सुद्धा. पण हे खूप महत्वाचं आहे की एकाच वेळी दोघांनी त्या लो मूड मध्ये न जाणं, म्हणजे एकमेकांना मदत करता येते.
You spoke about how lucky were you were to have the parents like you had. Could you give us some tips for parents of differently abled children?
Yeah. When we especially look at India, parents love their children so much. And this is nice. However, the problem is that parents, through this love, they confuse sometimes love with overprotection and not letting go.
बऱ्याच वेळेला पालकांचं आपल्या मुलांवरती प्रेम असतं, पण त्या प्रेमामध्ये ते अतिसंरक्षण करायला जातात.
So if you love your children, I just would, I would advise you, trust them. Trust them that they find the right solutions for their circumstances.
तुमचं जर तुमच्या मुलांवर प्रेम असेल तर त्या प्रेमाबरोबर विश्वास द्या. कोणत्याही परिस्थितीमधून त्या परिस्थितीची उकल करण्याचं सामर्थ्य त्यांच्यामध्ये आहे असा विश्वास त्यांना द्या. येस.
Sabriya, your change agents are doing so much for the society. They are trying to make society healthy. What, according to you, is a healthy attitude of this society towards differently abled people in general and visually disabled or impaired in particular?
I think in general we need to find a different attitude towards disability. And I would like to make one example. When we think of a bird, and the bird is flying over us, and he looks down on us, he probably would think, this is a creature that has no abilities. We cannot fly, we cannot see very well, we cannot see the worm in the ground from very high up. When we go into the water, we are very bad swimmers, even if we feel we are good swimmers. So we are not very strong jumpers. So we need a lot of solutions to actually become good. So now, disability. Now, when the bird thinks we are disabled, do we feel disabled? Normally, we don't feel disabled. However, we have a desire to fly. So what happens now? We invent new things. Disability, our imperfection, makes us inventive and makes us creators of new things. For example, airplanes or speedboats.
Wow.
And now, in this way, I would like to see the society to get an attitude towards blindness, towards people with disability, that this is also a chance. It doesn't have to be a disability. It can also be a chance to find new solutions for new problems and to create a very, very interesting life.
वा, तिनं आपल्याला जे उदाहरण दिलं ते पक्षाचं दिलं. आकाशात उडणाऱ्या पक्षाच्या नजरेतून जमिनीवरचे आपण सारेच विकलांग नाही का? मग आपण त्या पक्षाचं हे म्हणणं मनावरती घेतो का? तर आपण मनावर घेत नाही. मग आपण काय करतो, तर आपण या विषयावरती काहीतरी पर्याय शोधायला बघतो. आपण त्यासाठी विज्ञान तंत्रज्ञानाचा वापर करून त्या समस्येची उकल करायला बघतो. आपल्यामध्ये असणारी अपूर्णता, इम्परफेक्शन, हीच आपल्यामधल्या शोधक वृत्तीला नेहमीच ऊर्जा देत असते. आणि तसं जर आपण वापर केला तर आपण निश्चितपणे एका अधिक चांगल्या जगाकडे जाऊ शकू. वंडरफुल. आय थिंक that was very, very great. That was a great message. Sevriye, out of all the awards that you got, which gave you maximum satisfaction?
The problem is for me, when I'm thinking of awards, actually I don't think much of awards.
You don't think much of awards?
No, I'm so focused on what comes next and what we can do to make the world a better place that awards is something for when I'm maybe 88 and I look back and think, yeah, the life was not too bad actually, and people actually did appreciate what I did. So when you ask me this question, of course I'm thinking more of the consequences of each award. So what is the biggest consequence?
Yeah.
Now, when I, for example, think of the Indian Award, of course that gave us a lot of. Yeah, it made us feel welcome in India. That was the consequence of the Indian Award. When we received the award of being one of the most 15 influential foreigners in the last 30 years in China. Okay, what does it say to me? It says that women can be influential, and in such a big country like China. Yeah? And it tells me blind people can be influential. And the consequence of that is that especially blind women in China, and maybe also beyond in this world, feel a little bit better about themselves and come out of their comfort zone and try to do something. So that for me is always important.
Right. फार सुंदर मांडणी केली तिनं आपल्याला असं सांगितलं की मी बक्षिसांचा विचार करत नाही, पुढे काय ह्याचा नेहमी विचार करते. आणि चांगला विचार असा की बक्षिसाचा परिणाम काय झाला. भारतामधल्या सरकारचं मला बक्षीस मिळालं, त्यामुळे मला भारतामधल्या वातावरणामध्ये समरस झाल्याची पावती मिळाली. चीनच्या सरकारचं जेव्हा बक्षीस मिळालं तेव्हा मला हे कळलं की एक स्त्री सुद्धा या जगावरती प्रभाव पाडू शकते आणि एक दृष्टीहीन स्त्री सुद्धा या जगावरती प्रभाव पाडू शकते. मी जेव्हा 88 वर्षाची म्हातारी होईन किंवा 88 वर्षाची तरुण होईन, त्यावेळेला पाठी वळून मग मी म्हणेन की बरं झालं माझं बऱ्यापैकी अवॉर्ड मिळाली, पण तोवर नाही.
Also, maybe I add one more thing.
Yeah.
Why don't I take these awards so personal is also because there's always teamwork. And I'm not alone in this world.
Yes.
And things are running so well because I have a brilliant team surrounding me.
Yes.
And this is so important. So now the people who award you, they don't see the team, they just see this one person. And that makes me sometimes a bit sad and even almost a little embarrassed. So therefore I rather, I'm of course grateful for recognition of the projects.
Yes.
But I don't take it personal.
मला कृतज्ञता वाटते, पण मी मिळणारं पारितोषिक व्यक्तिगत समजत नाही, कारण त्या व्यक्तीच्या मागे एक खूप मोठा संघ असतो आणि पारितोषिक त्या सगळ्याचं असतं. मित्र, गेला तासभर आपण सेब्रिया बरोबर ह्या गप्पा मारतोय आणि मी तुम्हाला म्हणालो होतो या सत्राच्या सुरुवातीला की तुमचं आमचं जगणं बदलवून टाकण्याची दृष्टी देणारं सामर्थ्य या व्यक्तीच्या शब्दामध्ये आहे. याचं कारण असं की सेब्रिये जे काही बोलते त्यातला प्रत्येक शब्द तिने जगलेला आहे. कुठे राहणारी ही व्यक्ती जर्मनीतली, तिथून ती तिबेटमध्ये जाते काय, तिथून भारतामध्ये येते काय, आता तिचं पुढचं स्वप्न आहे आफ्रिकेमध्ये सेंटर उभं करायचं. आज आपल्याला जर कोणी विचारलं की हिची नॅशनॅलिटी काय, तर आपण म्हणू की ही खऱ्या अर्थानं जगाची आहे, सगळ्या जगाची आहे. ही एका देशाची नाही आहे, एका समाजाची नाही आहे. आणि अशी एक व्यक्ती की जिच्यावरती आपण दृष्टीहीन असा शिक्का समाजाने मारला होता, त्या व्यक्तीनं संपूर्ण समाजाला नवी दृष्टी द्यायची आणि ती सुद्धा वेगवेगळ्या देशांच्या आणि जागतिक स्तरावरती, ही जी कहाणी आहे आणि त्या कहाणीमधला जो साधेपणा आहे आणि त्या कहाणीमधला जो सच्चेपणा आहे तो आपल्याला हे सांगतो, तिनं सांगितल्याप्रमाणे, की ड्रीम म्हणजे स्वप्न, त्याला फोकस असतो, पण जेव्हा त्या स्वप्नाला परिवर्तनाची जोड मिळते, सामाजिक परिवर्तनाची जोड मिळते, त्या वेळेला त्या ड्रीमचं व्हिजन होतं. आजच्या आपल्या दिवसाकडे जर आपण पाहिलं तर आपल्याला आपल्या सगळ्यांच्या मधून हे दिसेल की प्रत्येक जण त्याच्या त्याच्या स्वप्नाबरोबर प्रामाणिक राहिला. सकाळी आज जेव्हा दिलीप सर आणि अभिलाष आपल्याशी बोलत होते त्यावेळेला त्यांचं स्वप्न दोघांनी कसं पाहिलं आणि ते स्वप्न पाहत असताना आणि ते प्रत्यक्षात आणताना किती अडचणी हो, पण त्या अडचणींचा आपल्या ह्या सगळ्या पाहुण्यांपैकी कुणीही कधीही पाऊ केलेला आपण बघितला नाही. आणि ह्यामध्ये जी काही मदत मिळाली ती सर्वांनी घेतली. एवढंच नाही तर मला आजच्या सगळ्याच्या पहिल्या सत्रामध्ये हे खूप आवडलं की त्या बोटीबरोबरचं त्यांचं नातं, की तुम्हाला मदत मिळते ती फक्त माणसांकडूनच नाही तर निर्जीव वस्तू सुद्धा तुमच्या एकंदर अस्तित्वाचा कसा भाग बनू शकतात. मला अभिलाषचं ती गोष्ट फार आवडली की इथं आल्यावरती मला कळलं की मला किती गोष्टी हव्या असतात आणि तिथं मी कुठल्या वातावरणात कुठल्या पद्धतीने जीवन जगत होतो. आणि म्हणून आपण असं म्हणालो की खरं साहस तेच आहे की जे स्वतःची स्वतःबद्दलची जाड वाढवतं आणि स्वतःला आलेली समज ही संपूर्ण समाजापर्यंत पोहोचवतं. शीतलने जे सांगितलं आपल्याला दुसऱ्या सत्रामध्ये की तिला जे करायचं होतं ते फक्त तिच्यासाठी नाही तर संपूर्ण देशासाठी आणि या देशामधल्या स्त्रीसाठी. आणि मला असं नेहमी वाटलं की या शीतल एका मध्यमवर्गीय घरामधून आलेली पुण्यामधली मुलगी ही एक स्वप्न पाहते, जे स्वप्न ती पहिल्यांदाच म्हणाली तिचे मित्रमैत्रिणी तिला वेडी म्हणतात आणि ते वेडे पण जपायचं. त्या वेडे पण जपताना ते वडील ती आई ह्या सगळ्यांना ते कन्व्हिन्स करायचं आणि मग ते करत असताना त्या सगळ्या अडचणींना तोंड देत पुढे जायचं. एकाच वेळेला साहसाचा खेळ, दुसऱ्या बाजूला घर कुटुंब, ही सगळी गोष्ट कसरत पुढे पुढे न्यायची. आणि आता शीतलची जी इन्स्टिट्यूट येईल त्यातून अशा अनेक शीतल निर्माण होतील, म्हणजे ते स्वप्न इतर अनेकांच्या पर्यंत पोहोचेल. शीतलच्या त्या सगळ्या प्रवासामध्ये तिचे वडील, तिची आई हे जरी आपल्याला भेटले नाहीत आज तरी सुद्धा ते आपल्याला आठवत होते. तसंच मला असं वाटलं कृष्णमेघ जेव्हा आपल्याशी बोलत होता तेव्हा आज आपल्याला कृष्णमेघच्या निमित्ताने त्याची आई भेटली, ते वाटवे सर भेटले, तो लॅरी भेटला आणि ह्या सगळ्या लोकांनी ह्या माणसाला आकार कसा दिला. आणि कृष्णमेघच्या बोलण्यामध्ये आपल्याला असं दिसलं की एक रानवेडा, त्याला असलेला नाद, आणि एक शास्त्रज्ञ ज्याने त्या नादाला दिलेली शास्त्रीय चौकट, या सगळ्यामधून एक जीवनशैली निर्माण होणं आणि एकाच वेळेला ते त्याचं ड्रीम म्हणजे त्याचं स्वप्न साकार होणं आणि इतरांसाठी ते मार्गदर्शक ठरणं, हा प्रवास आपण तिथून बघितला. त्यानंतर आपण रोहिणीच्या स्वप्नांमध्ये पाहिलं की स्वप्नांचं नियोजन कसं करावं. स्वप्न पाहणं ही एक गोष्ट आहे, पण अनेक स्वप्नांचं नियोजन कसं करायचं ही दुसरी गोष्ट आहे. तेव्हा स्वप्नांच्या नियोजनासाठी आवश्यक गोष्टी आपण पाहिल्या तिच्याकडून. आणि मग आपण पाहिलं आता सेब्रियेकडून की अहो प्रकाश कुठे आहे, प्रकाश शोधाल तिथे आहे. आणि अंधार नावाची गोष्टच नाही, अंधार नावाचं फक्त एक परसेप्शन आहे. त्यामुळे प्रकाश हाच आहे, फक्त त्याला आपण शोधत नाही म्हणून त्याला आपण अंधार म्हणतो. ती जे म्हणाली की तिच्या आयुष्यामध्ये अंधार नाहीच, अंधार आलाच नाही, आणि तेव्हापासून तिची सृष्टी जी रंगीत बनली ती तिनं अधिकाधिक रंगांनी समृद्ध करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला.